What's up, guys? It's Shane, aka Shane Tay, aka Young T, aka Shane Tay Young, aka Tay Young T, aka Vang. Konami gave me a lot of different names. So I'm now back in Singapore. I managed to finish top 8 at the Worlds. 7 different misplays, lost me the top 8 match. The game was mine, but I lost it to myself. Just got too excited. So calm exposure is something I need to learn. Yeah, that's just through exposure, just being calm. But yeah, so I played VS K9, Vanquish Soul K9. The reason why I picked this deck was just straight out of comfort. Preparing for Worlds. I tried Yummy, I tried Chris on K9, I tried Rico Tail, but just nothing felt right. I didn't feel like I could pilot it well enough, and I actually learned this deck for Taiwan, so I just brought it forward with the comfort and also understanding that it's a high roll deck. I just knew that it gave me the best chances of becoming world champion, and it paid off to get me to top 8. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into the deck. So for the build, we have the typical 3 Raisin, 3 Mad Love, 3 Holy Su, 3 Tialong. I think this is quite standard across all formats. I played 1 Caesar and 2 Borger. So the reason why I played the second Borger is mainly 1 for the attribute and also to reveal off Holy Su. You just want the name as well, and it helps to dodge cards like Imperm against Yummy. So yeah, that's basically the explanation behind it. Then you have 3 Stake Your Soul, 1 Field Spell, 1 extra Raisin, Rhoda, and the Trap. So that's pretty standard for the VS lineup. Just move to this side. For the K9 package, 3 Jokel, 1 Lantern, 3 Izuna, 1 Lupus, 1 Quick Play, 1 Case. The reason why I didn't want to play 3 Case is I understand that it helps increase the consistency. However, going to turn 0 plays, if you go second, obviously if you have more than 1 copy in your hand, then it's not exactly an attribute you want to reveal for Holy Su. So yeah, and also because this deck is a high roll deck, I just kind of accepted that nature and just went in with that mentality. However, going second, this always goes out anyway. Yeah, so that's for the K9s. For the non-engine, 3 Ash standard, 3 Pharos, 1 Shifter. I think I would actually side this instead. Its real application came up against Yummy, that's about it. Against Yuna, I used Borger to draw, I revealed Shifter, we had a good laugh about it. But generally, this should be in the side. 1 Kurikara, so this is actually mainly to help in the mirror and also mainly against Yummy if they don't know about it. The problem with this card going into the tournament is that a lot of people kind of saw it when I revealed it off pot, so it didn't really come up as I'd like it to. So I would definitely be cutting this card. It's also an out to Lunalight, just in case I faced them. However, I dodged all the Lunalight matchups, so it never really came up. Also because it's a fire attribute, so Tialong has more plays to be able to search, just more consistency in that case. But yeah, it wasn't great, honestly. I didn't even use it once, actually. If you can see, I only saw it in the top 8 match off the pot, which didn't help at all. But that game was lost before that point of time, and I really misplayed a lot of points before then. Yeah. Then last 2 cards here, 1 Talents, 1 Pot. So Talents is meant to help in the mirror and against Yummy, and of course going first just to see the hand. I didn't see this card once, so I can't really comment on its application. Pot, in theory, it's meant to be if I get Chummy twice, so maybe double Pharos or Perulia. If I see this card, I can basically search or rather excavate one of my auto win buttons, or it can help me just cover the attributes I need to play on my opponent's turn. However, this card was just bad throughout the entire weekend. I think I resolved it twice. Once I went full combo and used it, so it didn't really come up at all. The other time was in the top 8 match, and it revealed this and 2 more Chummies. So that, and I had an SP on the field, so it didn't do anything for me. I think understanding that's a high roll deck, I might honestly cut this card, especially going back into an OCG or AE format where Maxi's everywhere. This feels bad, honestly. However, I do understand the importance of consistency. I do understand why people would run it. Yeah, so that's it for the main deck. For the extra, 2 Rocks, Standard, SP, Saryuja. I didn't make this card once. It's meant to be like a K9 bridge to VS. However, I managed to high roll my way into VS names. I think there was only one game where I kind of struggled to have VS names, but even then, I just managed to like get Borger on the field, draw one, and I drew into VS. So it didn't come up at all. I do see its application though. In practice, it did come up, but it just didn't do anything for me. For the Exceeds, the mandatory Masquerade, double Ripper. I played 2 Ripper for the Ripper OTK. Basically, you have 1 Ripper with a material underneath, the other with 2, and then you use the quick play to go to Werewolf, attack 3 times. I used that in practice, but in the actual worlds, I didn't do that once. I didn't do that a single time. Yeah. Next is Valon. I think a lot of people are cutting Valon. This is mainly for the Yummy matchup. And it did come up on both my streams. It's the only times I made this card. And it does steal games against Yummy. Also kind of blocks the Obedient School. So I can consider testing without this card again. But yeah. One Nash Knight. I think 1 Nash Knight's enough. I know people like to play 2. However, I think that it has more potential breaking boards. And even when you are kind of setting up the Umbral Horror anyway. So yeah, I never felt the need for 2 because when you set this up, it's essentially an FDK. Like, you're either winning the turn, or if the opponent can't kill you that turn, you're winning on the crackback anyway because of all the attributes in your hand. Yeah, then moving on, then it's just the Umbral Horror. Umbral Horror package is mainly for the Mirror. This is the rank up, and I played Silent Honor Dark. The main purpose of this was actually to, number 1 was to make a really big Zeus. But the second material was actually to keep important names underneath. So against Yuna, I kept her Malice names underneath this monster, her links. But she still managed to beat me anyway, that specific game. And then it also, I was supposed to make a really big Zeus in the top 8 match, so that's a whole other misplay. So it does come up, however, I would experiment with cutting it because it does feel like it's a niche scenario. I only made it twice. Then standard Werewolf, Typhon, Zeus. You have to play these. Now for this side, I think this is the biggest thing. 2 Pankratops. So personally, I feel like if I were to redo Worlds and redo my list again, I would cut these for something else. Maybe like a Book of Eclipse or some form of board breaker. In theory, it does play well into Yummy and it's supposed to out the VSK9 trap. However, if you make this against VSK9, realistically, the Umbral Horror is kind of blocking you from stopping the trap, which is like the biggest issue in the mirror. And also against Yummy, it does alright, but the only one time I saw it against Yummy, I misplayed horribly, but it would have done the job. However, I feel like they're more effective cards. Like this could have been a 3rd Lancia, or it could have been replaced with Droll. Yeah, I only saw it then and against Roselle, but against Roselle, I just saw Earths, so I just auto-lost that game. Yeah. 2 Lancia, I cut the 3rd because I didn't really respect Lunalight and Christian K9. I felt like VSK9 into Christian K9 plays well on its own. But I mean, the board is kind of unbreakable, but if you can kind of hand trap them halfway if your turn 0 plays, because they do play into Izuna, then you have like a better shot, so you don't necessarily need them. However, I underestimated how many Malice there would be. Against Christian K9, I didn't see this card once. But against Malice, I saw both Lancias in my hand and I bricked. I saw 2 Lancias, a Power Filter, and a Talent and a Thrust against Yuna in game 3. So I hard bricked these 2, plus Power Filter kind of helped me survive a bit, but in the end, yeah, I would play 3. 1 Dogran. So Dogran, the Kurikara, and the main, these are to kind of respect the Lunalight matchup, just in case there were any. And just so happens that Lunalight got 2nd and 10th, but I dodged all the Lunalights, so this card never really went into my main deck. But I would keep it for that. 3 Perulia for the mirror and for Yummy as well. If they want to make Herald, you kind of like force them to let you give you a few draws. So the main purpose is actually just to get like 1 draw and to stop them from getting a Herald. Obedient School does play around it, but that one is just like you have no choice to play. Yeah. 1 Harpy. I saw this once during the tournament when I misplayed. 3 Power Filter. So the weakest matchup for this deck is Yummy. So the idea is that going first is a blowout, going second it's a blowout if they don't have Herald. So if you manage to just push them to a point where they have to Obedient School, or they Obedient School first, this becomes it breaks the board on its own because they can't do anything unless they have a set judgment. But if you trade this for a judgment, you're pretty happy with that. So yeah, this card, I only saw it against Yuna, and then I saw it on the stream, in my round 4 against Felipe. That's the only times I really saw it, and I only really sided against Yummy because in the mirror I felt confident enough that I didn't have to side in so many cards. So yeah, I think this is just like an interesting tech choice if you feel like Yummy's super popular. I thought there'd be more Yummy going into the weekend, but there's more VSK9, so it was either one of those two decks. So I lost that bet in a sense, but yeah, it definitely came out as the perfect bait for the catch against Felipe. Yeah, one thrust. I only saw this card once, and that was when it was a brick. I think against Willie game 3, I should have realized that because he activated songs, he wouldn't really throw hand traps. The only reason why I get sided in is just in case if they charm me, I can thrust into an auto win button, which is Black Goat. That's the main purpose of it. If I'm going second, I can thrust into a stake, or if I really need to get something else out of my deck, I can prosperity as well. Or talents. That's the main aim of this card. However, I only saw it once, and when I saw it, it was against a guy who has 0 monster hand traps. So it was a miss side on my part. I would personally consider cutting this and maybe play anti-spell instead because it was a very heavily board breaker format. Next is Tikaboo. I didn't see this card once. Maybe that's why I'm not world champion. Yeah, that's all there is to say about it. It's just an auto win against Malice and Yummy. But yeah, I didn't see it at all. And then Black Goat. This card is FTK against Yummy, especially the Obedience School. You just call Snatchy. The only thing you can really do is get a link 2, and they're not going to excavate or get anything back. So yeah, this is the best card. I think that's about it. I think I answered all the questions. If anyone else has any questions regarding my list, you can comment below, or you can hit me up on Twitter, X, and I'll reply. Honestly, yeah, I would make a few changes, especially to the extra and to the side. I think I would run Hita for Lunalight, so I can search the Dogran and Kurikara. I think I would play Vanquish Soul Rocks instead of the Silent Honor Arc. I felt like Rocks was missing. It would have made my game 2 against Willie much easier. Despite my misplace, I was still able to cover, get to SP because I kind of tunneled in on the minion. But instead I should have just made a Zeus. But if I had Rocks, I could have SP'd plus Zeus. So that's the main difference. Besides that, yeah, I think that's about it. Yeah, I just want to give a massive shout out firstly to my girlfriend Karen for all the support. Also to all my friends here in Singapore, Loyu behind the camera, Desmond, Eugene, TJ. TJ actually lent me the cards for Taiwan, so I actually bought my VS core in Taiwan. So I'm actually using his deck there. Also to CL, Aston, and they lent me cards as well and helped me test Gao Jie, Zhao Guang. Yeah, just the whole gang. Also shout out to the other Singaporean players that helped me a lot, like Yikang, Yogi Bear, Lao Nyang, Yihong, Baha, Kelvin, Jia Heng. Yeah, it was just really nice that the whole community kind of came behind me to really support me and help me achieve this height. Even though I'm probably in the past like 10 plus years, I'm the worst performing Singaporean. And I should have been top 4 and I didn't perform well on day 2, but at least I made it to day 2, so at least there's a proud achievement there. And shout out to Agora Hobby, this wonderful store that we're in. And also, of course, the other Worlds competitors that I really managed to bond with over the weekend. So shout out to Yuna, the Malice Goat, Tom, and Johannes, both the Lunalight Goats, Andy, Dino, the Whitewoods Goat, Roselle, James, Mark, also to all the lovely people that I managed to play against, Felipe, Willie, Isaiah, Kim. It was just overall really a blast to get to meet all these different people, especially like people that you would regard as Yu-Gi-Oh celebrities, but actually everyone's super kind-hearted and down to earth. Like I spent some time with Nesh, Joshua Schmidt, talked to Pac as well, Aditya as well. Like just, yeah, I think the whole community is amazing and I hope to make it to Worlds again. So yeah, thanks for watching. Let us know what you'd like to see on this channel. Mainly we do like ranking or casual matchups, just to have some practice footage and so people can kind of see what the OCG and AE formats are like, but we can explore other kind of content as well. So let us know. And yeah, with that, peace.